if I be a man of God, who are you? If I be a man of God, shut up and sit down. You are just another human being that God picked somewhere by the roadside and is using. Shut up and sit down. The man is sleeping with all the ladies, having with all the girls in the church. We cannot say, but he's anointed. We have to know. Maybe there is a small group of people that has to be rich. Yes, God is using them, but he's not endorsing them. And the supposed miracles happening in their lives is not an endorsement of their character. Because sometimes, I hear pastors speaking and say, if I be a man of God, who are you? I mean, what are you saying? You think God answers you because you are a man of God? God answers us because of his mercy. You think you have impressive credentials? If I be a prophet, if I be a man of God, shut up and sit down. You are just another human being that God picked somewhere by the roadside and is using. Shut up and sit down. All this boasting of spiritual authority, spiritual privilege, spiritual uniqueness, we see happening in the church, and from obviously flawed people. They are liars, they are cheats, they are fornicators, they are adulterers, they are idolaters. That means they are practicing idol worship, fetishism in the church. And somehow we think, there is also a grace. I'm happy you said grace, because grace is God's covering for your foolishness. It doesn't mean it's not foolish. It's foolish. But God says, I want to reach people so much that I will use a donkey. But a donkey is not approved of me. My warning to the current Pentecostal charismatic movement, that if we continue as we have done, within 20 years, we will collapse Christianity all over Africa. Now we are booming, but I see an imminent collapse, because there is a huge confidence gap between what we promise and what we deliver. We are promising to be what we are not, and we are teaching things that do not make for biblical theological reasoning and logic, and pretty soon it will catch up on us. For the next generation of pastors, although God used your fathers in spite of their limitations, you would have to be trained differently. The days of God's called you from the street, you are in the pulpit the next morning, is over. If every profession requires at least 4 years of proper regulated study, then I would suggest that every pastor in the coming generation needs a minimum of 4-year theological seminary training. Everyone. If you are a pastor here, go to school. For those of you who are older already, you're past helping. We'll take you like that. We'll take you like that. and we'll ease you off. We'll take you like that. All of you who are older, we'll take you like that. But those who are coming, we are talking about the next generation, influencing those who are coming. These generations who, if you sense God has called you, you have to go to seminary. If you are in your 20s, you feel God has called you, go to seminary. If you are in your 30s, God has called you, go to seminary. If you are in your 40s, God has called you, go to seminary. If you are in your 50s, we'll hold you like that. We'll hold you like that, 50s, 60s. We'll just manage with you and ease you out. May you do no harm to the next generation. May you do no harm to the next generation. But we'll hold you like that. The charismatic church, we see so much power, and maybe that is what all of you see. But I see so much danger and so much self-destruction, so much dissipation of confidence. More and more the congregation and the public is losing confidence in us.
And they are not fasting and praying for security. They are hiring personal bodyguard. They are buying bulletproof cars. And they are telling us to fast and pray. They are sending their children to the best schools in the world. They have bought so much properties for themselves. They live in mansion. They have 24/7 power supply in their houses, in their mansions. And they tell us to fast and pray. That somehow God will protect us. Why they themselves don't depend on God to protect them. I don't suffer. I have suffered. I have suffered too. Thank you, my daddy in the Lord, for spelling that out very clear. Because when someone like me try to say it, the so-called Christians would be on my neck. They will call me names. But I really don't have anything to gain by them going to church or not going to church, believing in God or not believing in God. I just want to spread the word so that people hear and maybe become wiser and do something better with their lives. The men of God have always claimed that they are taking over the world. And I ask myself, what exactly are you taking over? What exactly are you taking over? You know, people are struggling. People are starving. People are going hungry every single day. And all what you do, some men of God, is to scream, we are taking over the world. We are taking over the world. We are taking over the world. And I always ask them, right, with all the money you guys have, if you started a factory, if you do something with that money, that employs only the people who come to your church. Let's just say only those who are your members. You give them jobs. Do you know how much changes you've brought to their lives? All the likes like David Oyedepo with the Enoch Adeboye. If they all started something that hire people who are members of their church, that would transform the lives of those people significantly. But the saddest thing is they won't do it. They won't do it. They won't do it. They will rather tell the people to seek God's favor. They will rather tell the people to fast and pray. The other time, Papa Daddy G.O. told his people to fast for God to bring back security to Nigeria. That they should fast so that 2025 will be a year with a difference. And I was like, haven't you guys fasted like enough? You guys have been fasting like forever. How much better has a country like Nigeria gotten? How much better has she become? No, you just tell me. You just tell me. Things have gotten from bad to worse. But yesterday, they will come out and tell us to fast, to pray for security. And they are not fasting and praying for security. They are hiring personal bodyguards. They are buying bulletproof cars. And they are telling us to fast and pray. They are sending their children to the best schools in the world. They have bought so much properties for themselves. They live in mansion. They have 24/7 power supply in their houses, in their mansions. And they tell us to fast and pray. that somehow God will protect us. Why they themselves don't depend on God to protect them? I don't suffer. I have suffered. I have suffered too. I have suffered. All of them, they have huge security. They have so many cars. They drive in convoy. And on top of all this, they can stand on the pulpit and tell us to fast and pray for things to be better. And the worst of it is that, you see some hungry and starving people shouting amen, amen, amen. Hi. Oh God. Oh God. But you know something? In all seriousness, right? Pardon me laughing, just that I'm not mocking those people. I'm just laughing out of frustration. Okay? It's not the laughing is not a sign of happiness. It's a sign of frustration. The thing is, people have got to wake up. And like the man of God in this video said, 20 years, no, I don't think up to 20 years. In a couple of years from now, the whole religious thing in Africa will start to die off. And the reason would be that the men of God will become multi-billionaires while their members will become as broke as anything. And the disparity between the rich and the poor will be so visible that it will create enmity among Christians. You will see, I can assure you on that. The thing that people haven't figured out about why there is this boom in Christianity in Africa is Africans are hungry. Africans are starving. When I say this, I mean an average African. I know there are rich people, there are multimillionaires, but the average African is starving. The average African doesn't have a good job. And so, since they are very spiritual people by nature, they have now turned to God for rescue. They believe that God will provide for them what their politicians have decided not to. And unfortunately for them, they have met crooked men of God, selfish men of God, greedy men of God who care only about themselves and not the suffering masses. And so those men of God are now using this weakness against the people whom they are supposed to be protecting. So give it a couple of years, those people will realize that what they came to the church for is not being provided, or they are not achieving their aims. And when that day comes, I shall be here laughing like I'm laughing now. I assure you on that.